This is today's AEW Dynamite full show results video, and Jon Moxley makes his entrance and gets on the mic. He says he grew up about 90 miles from here and he used to wrestle in Indianapolis all the time when he was just getting started. Moxley said there is nobody that can outwork, out-hustle, out-wrestle, out-fight, out-bleed, or out-sweat him. You can bet your ass there's not a man in that locker room or within 100 miles that has the balls to come out here, look him in the eyes, and tell him any different. Adam Hangman Paige returns to AEW, and he directly confronted Jon Moxley, and Mox asks him if he's sure he wants to do this after what happened last time, if he remembers what happened last, and Hangman Paige immediately started attack on Moxley, and it becomes brawl, but somehow AEW's officials and security stopped the brawl. Then we saw a match between American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Dax Harwood, and the result of this match was American Dragon Bryan Danielson defeated Dax Harwood by submission with the label lock. Back from the commercial, we see Adam Page being escorted out of the arena when he runs into Jon Moxley and they resume their brawl. Hangman throws Mox into a garage door and refuses to be pulled apart. Renee Paquette interviews Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society. Matt Menard taunts Claudio Castagnoli, saying he can be anything he wants when he's forced to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. He can even start yodeling. Claudio says winning the title back means a lot and he gets distracted by Jake Hager pulling out a matching purple bucket hat and throwing it at him to offer him a chance to tag together again. Castagnoli's had enough of talking and he storms off while Wheeler Yuta bickers with the Jericho Appreciation Society lads. Daniel Garcia pitches a tag match, him and Hager against Yuta and Claudio, and Wheeler accepts as long as Garcia puts the pure title on the line at Final Battle. The next match happened between AR Fox versus Samoa Joe for the AEW TNT Championship, and the result of this match was Samoa Joe defeated AR Fox by pinfall with the Muscle Buster, retaining the AEW TNT Championship. Post-match, Joe gets on the mic, and he says he welcomes us to a new and glorious era, for he's the one true king of television. Wardlow appears on the Tron and says he hopes he's enjoying playing the role, because he's coming for what's his, and this is Wardlow's world. Back from the commercial, William Regal makes his entrance, and he gets on the mic and introduces Maxwell Jacob Friedman. MJF said Mr. Regal sent him an email right after the firm attacked, and he reads it. Regal says he watched on as the firm attacked Max. It's become very clear he's grown weak, and he sees all the potential in him to become the greatest villain of our time, and he's happy to help reach his true potential, and instead of the dynamite ring, he needs to grab the brass one. Regal didn't want him to just beat Moxley, but to leave him with an emotional scar so he'll never forget the day he was outsmarted by MJF. He throws the belt out of the ring and asks Regal to unveil the new one, and it's the same basic belt design, just the leather is printed with a vaguely Burberry plaid. MJF said no one deserves to be recognized as a world champion except him, not fake tough guys like Eddie Kingston or Ricky Starks, and speaking of fake, the worst of the worst, the middest of the mid-fake wrestlers, like Bryan Danielson. No offense, but compared to Friedman, Danielson can't wrestle his way out of a paper bag. Max says as long as he's in this company, nobody else will know what it feels like to be on top, because he's going to be a world champion for a very long time, all the way until the bidding war of 2024. He'll make more in one day than anyone in the crowd will make in their whole life. He just hopes the right con foots the bill, and he ain't talking about Tony, he's talking about his boy, Jolly Old St. Nick, and his other boy, the game, Trips. He's sick and tired of looking at grotesque professional wrestling fans on a weekly basis, so maybe Hollywood wins. He's gonna have a world title reign that makes Hulk Hogan look short and sweet, and makes Bruno Sammartino roll in his shitty little grave. At last, he wanted to say without the brass knuckles and without William Regal, none of this was possible, and they may not like it, but everybody in and around this business respects him, and he just wanted to say from the bottom of his heart, and immediately he blindsided William Regal with the brass knuckle punch to the back of the head. Max paraphrases his email from years ago and says he only hires top-tier talents before leaving. The ringside doctor checks on Regal and Bryan Danielson runs down to check on his mentor as he's stretchered out and we go to break. Back from the commercial, we saw a match between Ari Daivari versus Absolute Ricky Starks, but before the match Ethan Page tried to distract Ricky Starks, but he managed and defeated Ari Daivari by pinfall. Then we saw a match between Anna Jay versus Willow Nightingale, and the result of this match was Willow Nightingale defeated Anna Jay by pinfall with a Dr. Bomb. Post-match, Ruby Soho returns and takes Tay Mello down, and hammers her with punches. Fending off Anna Jay, shrugging off an attack from Mello, going to the ramp with her, and landing a huge headbutt, she hits Destination Unknown on the ramp. Back from the commercial, Jade Cargill makes her entrance, flanked by her baddies, and gets on the mic for her celebration. She says the entire company eats off of her, and you can compare her to anybody in the back. Nobody has her body, her face, her aura. She puts asses in seats, and she wrestles for bad bitches. She's real, she's nothing but real, and she creates careers. Speaking of careers, Lil Bow Wow is a total joke. Lil Bow appears on the Tron and congratulates her on her little win and says it's all very cute. Time is money and he's done talking, so you're gonna see him real soon. In the main event of tonight's show, we saw the third match of the Best of 7 series between Death Triangle versus the Elite, and the result of this match was the Elite defeated Death Triangle by pinfall with a folding press from Matt Jackson on Pac, taking the series to 1-2. Post-match, Kenny Omega gets on the mic, and he says there was never gonna be a sweep as long as the Cleaners is in town, and bids us all goodbye and good night, and the show goes off the air.